Alright, I've been putting off this tier list for about 2 days. And I just got this idea recently because as some of you might know, I've been dabbling in a little bit of League in the past couple months. And I think there's some really cool aspects about playing Legends of Runeterra first and then, you know, playing League, because obviously a lot of people come the other way, right? They've played League in the past and then they picked up Legends of Runeterra once it released. But I have this opposite experience, right? And it's cool to see like how similar the champions are and how different they are as well. And I think for the most part, I have gotten a decent chance to play, you know, most of the champions in League that exist in Runeterra. And there's some like really cool champions that I guess I wanted to highlight in both games. And so this tier list, it's less of a tier list, right? It's not like a, you know, this is better than that, but it's more like it's more like a, I guess you'd call it more of like an alignment chart than anything like that. It's just how they compare between games, how I like their play patterns, play styles, how like their creativity, and it's nice to see like the flavor kind of cross over through both of them, right? Now, this is a little bit biased as I don't really play League ranked. I am a binger of the ARAM game mode. And so some of these champions obviously work a little bit differently in ARAM than they would on Rift. And that's, you know, you're just gonna have to ignore that. Otherwise, I do have some preferences. Like in Legends of Runeterra, you know, I have some champions I like, especially things like, you know, some champions that I really like, such as Yasuo. Even things like Katarina, Victor, you know, like these champions, Leona. There's gonna be some implicit biases, right? Whereas, you know, I might enjoy some champions more in League and less in lore, and the opposite way around. And in League, I do like more of the engage champions, more of the support champions, more of the ADC champions, less of the assassins, things like that. And so obviously there's bias. This is just for me. Did I just start League? Sort of. I might have played around like maybe like 800 games of ARAM by now, maybe like 700. So not a lot, but also not that much, you know. I started within the past couple months, and it's been kind of cool. That's nothing. Yeah, it's nothing, right? Seems like a lot, because like if you think about if each game takes 20 minutes, that's 3 to an hour. That's at least like 220, 250 hours into the game already. And compared to my Steam library, that's there's like I can count on my fingers how many games in my Steam library have more hours than like 200. It's kind of embarrassing, but nonetheless. So this is going to be a little bit of a comparison between my experiences across both games, granted my relatively limited League experience. Also, like, you know, I actually haven't gone to play some champions. Like, I haven't gone to play Shyvana in League. Aphelios confuses the living crap out of me in League, but I fully understand how he works in lore. I might have played like one game of Aurelia and I just fundamentally didn't understand the mechanics, so I just like I don't know how I would ever give an opinion on a champion like that, right? And you know, it's like a mix of both. I don't think I've actually played Rumble. I don't think I've actually played Poppy yet. But for the most part, I have played most of these champions. Obviously, like Nora doesn't exist, right? Things like that. So this is going to be an imperfect, but hopefully interesting, and maybe we can agree on certain things. All right, let's just get started. Let's get started with Garen. I mean, There's some bruiser champions I like, some melee champions I like. Garen is not one of them. And surprise, surprise, Garen, they managed to make him just absolutely mundane in both games. And so I think we're starting off very strong. While we're at it, I'm putting Tryndamere next to him because yeah, they're like similar champions. All right, Lucian. Lucian's interesting. As far as ADCs go, I do quite like ADCs overall. But I quite like Lucian within Legends of Runeterra. Because he has like this interesting like tempo-y combo aspect, and I'm a huge combo enjoyer, right? And I feel like he's super interesting if you can like ever make him work. The only bad part is you can't make him work, right? And as far as ADCs go, he's actually one of the ones that I like a little bit less, but he does have mobility. This is personal preference, but I like him more in lore because I think he's really interesting in terms of the combo. He falls under similar lines like the Katarina rally things, but without sacrificing on tempo, but having like a little bit more of an intricate deck building pattern. So I actually quite like Lucian more in lore. Like him more in LoL. Yeah, that's like Lucian's better in League in terms of viability. Yeah, but when it comes to this, I do quite like him in lore a lot more. Lux is interesting. I like her in both games. It's just she's cool. And I think Lux is a great example of how like how similar the kits are across the two games, while also just being like slightly different, right? Like they obviously didn't copy paste it because Lux, has this innate synergy that you need in card games with like other cards, whereas in lore you just cast your abilities, right? Fiora, my opinion is I'm close to putting it in both meh, just because within lore it's not actually like love, I don't hate. It's kind of cool. Mid-range isn't really my style, or like especially like unit mid-range. And I don't actually play her enough in League to actually really know. Yours both are a mistake. I have like gathered enough opinions. Fiora's true damage, her parry, like her kit is like I think really good in League. I just don't actually understand it good enough. Like if I was actually good at Fiora, like I'm sure I would like it, right? All right, Braum. So here's where there's some implicit bias. Like Braum in League, I feel like is a lot cooler because you just like pile up with some other melee champions and just like stun stuff. Whereas in lore, he's a little bit less interesting. Nivea, better in LoL. I actually quite like her kit, and this is like some of the things like when you come from a game like Legend of Runeterra into League, and you see how much more interesting some of these champions actually are, and I think Nivea falls under that, right? Like in LoL, in lore, Runeterra, she's just like this control champion that historically hasn't really been very good, but in LoL, there's at least some combo and control aspects to the champion like that, and I found that really interesting and it's nice to play. Putting Ashe better in lore, and that falls in the same categories of just combo-esque kind of material. Like if you're playing her as like ADC, it's not that much more interesting than comparatively. Whereas I think in lore she actually has like her own. It's a lot more developed, right? She has a lot more synergies with Frieza. She has a lot more lore within her background and her tribe and things like that, and it just creates a much better champion, and there's just a lot more ways to play her as well. We were disappointed lore did not include Nivea's iconic wall. I think like when it comes to like design, you can't copy paste everything, right? I think that just fundamentally makes the game a little bit too like mirrored and not interesting. Like if you fully like implemented Viego, right, you just don't get this idea of the encroaching mist anymore, because well you'd have some like weird like when I kill your enemy's champions I like steal their ability and things like that. And there's definitely some champions that are really cool that otherwise wouldn't really see like the same sort of mechanics that they have in this game if they're just copy pasted over, right? And some things are like, what champions exhibit that? Like Lissandra, right? Lissandra, Watch, or things like that. Viego is like a decent example of that. Even things like Jace, right? Zoe is nothing like LOL, same for Karma. Yeah. There's a lot of very like big differences, and there's a lot of similarities. Zed is cooler in League. See, Zed is here for me because I agree that he's better, or he's sort of mundane in lore, right? He has one purpose as what he wants to be doing, and sometimes he's ephemeral support, which isn't like particular interesting to me, but I just am I am not good at him, and I can't appreciate him in order to like put him here. So unfortunately he has to go here, but otherwise I would agree. Shen, though, on the other hand, he is probably one of my favorite champions in League. I actually like love how Shen works in League, and it's understandable that something like this is not implementable very similarly into Legends of Runeterra, but my god, did I just like fall in love with his kit. This has to be obvious. I'm just like not good enough to like fully appreciate Yasuo in League. But even besides that, it's even in lore, like, you know, I've played him enough. I love his mechanics. He's completely unique compared to like any other champion in the game, based on his abilities. So obviously better in lore, right? And then for some very similar reason, Karma is better in lore. Doubling of spells, Victor, Karma, Bar, keep shenanigans, combo, just Ionia stuff. Absolutely love it. You don't appreciate Lux in League, not a single bit. Okay, but like I just like play. I play a lot of. My background's ARAM, right? This tier list is so controversial. Oh, I love it. Controversy is exactly what it's gonna be. Okay, I mean, Vlad is not interesting in lore at all. He's like okay in League. Otherwise he would be here. I don't love him. I don't hate him. I don't like really love him, but he's alright. Raven though. Vlad is scary in League. He's interesting. Like anything that just like says untargetable and like also just like healing for like random 1.5k sometime it makes it quite interesting and scary to play against sometimes. But Raven needs his own tier. Raven's a whole definition of player type you can stereotype in lore. Yeah, I've accidentally been liking more League TikToks, and so I've been kind of getting ingrained into some of the LOL stereotypes, you know, between like, you know, X mains are, you know, this, or like top laners are that, and it's it's quite interesting to say the least. I don't think Legends of Runeterra has any of those kinds of stereotypes, whether for better or for worse. Maybe it's just not popular enough to have stereotypes like that. Draven mains and Cassidy mains, Jax mains. Any Jax top laners in the chat? But nonetheless, where are we gonna put him? Shaco mains? Yeah, exactly. See, like, he's not my favorite when it comes to ADCs, and he's like, he's okay in lore, right? He's not like super interesting per se, but I think like just his axes alone just has like a decent enablement across like a lot of things within lore. And like discard aggro, just discard fodder in general for even more tempo decks. Like, I would put him here, but like I just like Or if I liked him better, he might go here, which is funny to say. But I'll put him here just because I just played him a lot more in lore. Because a lot about one tricking, hence the stereotypes. That is true. Like, you don't, something I noticed within Legends of Runeterra is that you don't really have the same level of one tricks, even though people still like a certain group of champions the same way they do in like League, right? But you just don't see a lot of players having the same level of commitment to that kind of stuff. All right, Darius, both meh. I don't think I need to explain this very much in lore. In League, he's okay. He's like better Garen in terms of his kit and like how interesting he is. Way better in League. He's not super interesting to me. Like, he's strong and I'm sure there's like, he's okay, but he's just kind of meh to me. I just like, he's not like super fun for me. And this is my enjoyment, not how good they are. Guys, this is not how good they are. This is which one I like better. Okay, maybe that wasn't clear. This is not about how good the champions are. This is how I like them, in what game I like them more in. And I don't like Darius in either game, and that's kind of that. Maybe that wasn't clear. This is not in terms of how strong the champions are. Katarina, I mean, has to be there. Again, I have this bias against assassin champions. They just are too confusing for me and I just don't quite understand. Real tiers is a fun list. Exactly. Alright. Cat better in lore. I like her better in lore. I'm a sucker for these like combo-esque kind of things. You know, Cat in like Gwen Cat in Yasuo Katarina in like battering rams. You're speaking so you don't have to play the lore. Wait a minute. And I just have an implicit bias to assassins in League of Legends. I just, for the most part, don't understand how to play them. Don't like pentakills. I don't think I can like get a positive KD net with Katarina in League of Legends. I just don't. I'm just not good enough. Okay. Ordering doesn't matter. I'm just putting them randomly. Put Cat next to Yasuo by purpose. Yeah, exactly. Ezreal's kind of cute. I do think his kit is a lot more interesting in League. It's a lot more skillful. Like hitting skill shots is like I think one of the most satisfying things in Legends of Runeterra, as needs to be deleted from GOAT games. You know what? Maybe hang on. All right, there we go. And while we're at it, let's put Seraphine in that tier. Where's Seraphine? All right, there we go. Oh, okay. All right. Jinx is actually quite cool. Like after she got buffed, and even before she got buffed, in Legends of Runeterra, I feel like she was always one of those more interesting champions. Just because, again, she's very unique in how she works, very similar to like Yasuo, right? A lot of the original Foundation champions had some really like cool designs around them. Lucian, Yasuo, Jinx all have very unique designs around them, right? And I think that worked very well in Legends of Runeterra, and among ADCs, she's kind of up there. Being able to switch weapons between the minigun and the rockets, getting the movement speed, having the slow on the W and the root. Like, I think it's just very overall like just nice kit in League of Legends as well. You actually dislike Seraphine lore even though you don't play her. You actually like Seraphine and lore even though I don't. Interesting. Heim is how to play against in lane. Yeah, like Heimer is just by design I think a lot more interesting in Legends of Runeterra. I don't find him particularly interesting. French Nair, I thought, like, I love summoning turrets. Like back in the day, Vimer, or like even just like any sort of Heimer deck, like just summoning turrets, playing spells and doing things. And now even after the play versus cast change, right, you just like Ruination, you still get an 8/8. Like, goddamn, how can you not like? You put top lane Darius and Matt. I did. And again, this is not how good they are in the games. This is my enjoyment, and I don't find Darius particularly enjoyable. This is cool, yet so unplayed. Kalista is interesting. She's very interesting in both games, right? Like her ult in League is so interesting. I don't fully understand how it works, but when you do something cool with it, it's like cool. You can like move every time you attack. Like it's interesting, right? All right, you guys missed the part where I have an implicit bias against assassins because I don't know how to play them. So of course my enjoyment for assassins is much lower in League of Legends. And so Katarina obviously next to Yasuo has to be together. Just doesn't work any other way. Katarina is so fun in League. I don't understand how to play her. I just don't understand. This is interesting. She's like, I'm not gonna say she's great in both games because I have like 300 mastery in Kalista. Kalista, in fact, is my 4th least played champion in Legends of Runeterra. But she's interesting. There's like I'm gonna put her in no opinion because I do think she's interesting in both games, but I just don't play her enough to really like have a very strong opinion. All right, Hecarim. Card game player doesn't like champions card fast decision making. What the? Wait a second. But I like Shen. Does Shen not count? You guys not count Shen? All right, Hecarim. I think I've had like 2 games on Hecarim in League. I don't actually like him a lot. But in lore, I think ephemerals are actually a decently cool archetype. I think Hecarim is another example of how like they develop an archetype and character around him that doesn't necessarily like fully copy what his kit does, but at least copies a sort of idea around it. And they definitely made something interesting over the years with Hecarim. Whereas in League, I'm not a, I haven't played enough to know. Hecarim's more personality on League, but his lore makes more sense. Yeah, and that also is like kind of adds enjoyment overall. And he is like, I think Ephemeral is just a more interesting archetype. And as a card game player champion, you play in MOBA. What the? All right, Thresh. Thresh. What factor are you counting for to rate them? This is based off of my enjoyment across the games. So do I enjoy them more in League or do I enjoy them more in Legends of Runeterra? And then some other stuff. Gameplay, yeah, gameplay, experience, design, how fun I find them, how interesting and unique I find them. And I want to say Thresh is decently interesting in both games. Like, I think for how old of a champion he is, like his design is actually quite cool. And I think there's some really silly combos that Thresh has been, like Thresh has been so versatile and cross like Legends of Runeterra, right? Like Thresh Nasus, Thresh Gangplank, Thresh Darius. Like you can pair almost any champ, like Thresh Ashe. And I think he's just like fine, right? He's not super interesting in lore, but I'll give him brownie points for how I think versatile and how appreciated he's kind of been across the years of Legends of Runeterra, and how like interesting I think his kit is in League. Although I will say, I absolutely hate how slow his hook is. I think that's the most annoying thing for me about his character in League. I love Nautilus. I love Leona. I love... What are the other hook champions in this game? I like Amumu, I like Blitz, right? Like Pike a little bit less. I have less experience on Pike, but like I like Amumu, I like Blitz, I like Nautilus, I like, you know, these hook champions that have like faster hooks. And Thresh just like kind of annoys me with how slow his hook is. But nonetheless, I digress. All right, Elise. Elise is just not that interesting in League for me. I think she just seems kind of boring in League. She's kind of like, and I think leveled Elise in Legend of Runeterra is a super cool champion. Whereas I think Elise overall is just sort of just meh. Like she's not super interesting, right? Sometimes you just play her as like a good unit. But otherwise, otherwise I would just put her better in lore. Quinn I actually quite like a lot in League. She's not very interesting in Legend of Runeterra for me, but I quite like her in League actually. I never got to play her very much, outside of specifically ARAM. I mean, I haven't got to play any of these champions specifically outside of ARAM, but like vulnerable, like having like near sight on like an ADC against like other ADCs is like super cool. When it's in ARAM's dog, but it's fun. Like you just like get to W and just like look through the bushes at the start. I think that's like hilarious. But I actually quite like Quinn. Sejuani. Quinn top is great. See, you guys can't say that to me. I don't while I know what that means, I just can't relate because I haven't played Rift. A million times better in lore. You think Quinn is? Interesting. I would disagree. Sejuani. Oh, Sej. Okay. Yeah. I will say a lot of my basis around Sej is within this year's Worlds broadcast, and it's proven to be like quite good. But like the board freeze, it's either here or here. Because I think her ability to, again, like while she isn't a foundation champion, she even like Bilgewater, right? A lot of the early design for champions in this game have just really shown to really shine. And even though she's Bilgewater, her design has still been really unique, unchanged ever since she's been released, right? All right, Maokai. That is a team champ, which means she sucks in solo queue. Yeah, that's why like she shines a lot in Worlds, right? In the Worlds meta. Do I like Maokai in Legends of Runeterra? I do. I actually do. But I also like him in League, but I don't know if I like him enough to put him here. Maokai's more interesting in lore. I'll admit to, he's not super interesting when it comes to like LOL, but like he's okay. He might be both meh. Like I don't spend meh's a little bit hard. Both like no. I'll put him here. That's what the category is for. When I'm not sure and I don't think it's goes here, I should put it here. It's like I do quite like him. He's cool. Like he enables some wacky mill archetypes. You know, but that's too harsh. Yeah, do we need another category? Oh dear. Both okay. All right, is there anything here we want to change? No, I think this is fine. Going in lore is better for sure. Really? I think he deserves to be here. I think Swain deserves to be here. Rename Mad equally good in both, but not amazing. No, that's not the point. Meh is actually meh, whereas both like equally good would be here, right? Swain's demon form in lore is just level 2. Yeah. But I think he's actually quite interesting. I love Swain in Legends of Runeterra, and he's actually quite cool in LoL as well. But Leaf and meh. Yeah, I did. It's I think your enjoyment of Fiora in Legends of Runeterra highly is based upon how good you are at the champion, and because I suck at the champion, she goes in meh. Playing level 2 doesn't feel like playing a demon to me. But he's like, I think mechanically is really cool, right? They've created something very unique out of his kit into Legend of Runeterra, right? The ability to stun every time you ping your opponent's Nexus is obviously something that doesn't exist in League, right? But they have been able to make him at least exhibit his ability, like root stun, whatever it may be, in a different way. I think like adaptivity across games and just gameplay wise, I think is quite interesting. Don't get me wrong, but he's still the best in lore. That's fair. Vi. I want to put Vi better in lore, just because I love putting Overwhelm on Vi. Like, putting Overwhelm on Vi is like quite legitimately the only reason why I'm putting her better in League or lore, because I think it's absolutely hilarious. Vi is so much better than LOL. See, I don't think so. I play too much Vi and lore to like put it in LOL, and this is just bias as well. I just like her. I think she's one of like one of the most well-balanced champions in Legends of Runeterra, and so I quite like her a lot. Vi is worse than Set. See, like, again, these things don't mean anything to me. Lee Sin. Good in both, yeah. I just don't know if it's equally good or like... No, this category doesn't make any sense. Hang on, I need to rename this category. This is like great in both games, but not like... Hang on. This is like good in both games. It's not great, but it's good. And I think Lee Sin is what goes here. Because I think he's actually super cool, like interesting champion in Legend of Runeterra, or in League. And like I quite like Zoe Lee, right? There are just reasons why he can't be like phenomenal, but he has had some very toxic play patterns in Legends of Runeterra, so I can't give him the grade in both games, unfortunately. But I think he's still quite cool. Like, if he wasn't forced into the same archetype in Legends of Runeterra across the years, but just with different cards, then like maybe. But Easton probably has the most skill expression in Legends or League of Legends. I've seen the clips. I've seen the clips of like all the wacky combos and things like that. Oh boy. Woohoo. All right. Yeah. This annoying trickster, Buddy Pal. Should we just delete Fizz, actually? Is Fizz both meh, or do we just delete Fizz? Fizz goes for song alongside Ez. Fizz is delete both. Yeah, is he meh, or should we just delete Fizz? I'll be honest, Fizz, like, if you double draw Fizz and you use him as a rally, I think that's like kind of cool. I hate playing against Fizz in League, that's for damn sure. But I don't hate him enough in Legends of Runeterra. No, I hate playing. Never mind. Nope. Let's delete. I figured it out. All right, Nautilus. I like Nautilus in both games. He's another example of those champions that they actually just they flipped on its head, right? They could have like copy paste Nautilus across the two games, but they didn't, right? They made him into this like really cool champion overall, right? They made an entire archetype around him that surrounded his lore, rather than really focusing too much on his actual kit in Legends of or League of Legends. And I actually quite like playing him, so I'm gonna put him here because I think he's really cool in Legend of Runeterra, and I don't mind playing him, right? He's just like an easy sort of champion to kind of get into, right? Nautilus' first main. Nautilus was definitely one of the first few champions that I kind of just like gravitated towards when I like started playing the game. It was like Thresh Nautilus kind of thing, and then I just didn't like Thresh very much, and then I picked up Nautilus a little bit and tried to enjoy him a bit. VP better in League. Yeah, he's not very interesting in lore. He is like okay. Like I think if it was more interesting in like Legends of Runeterra rather than just being like this beatdown stick, then I would agree. 4 inches, oranges and kegs. But I think he's like, I think him in League is like the same thing as Shen in League to like LOR, right? Like I think Shen and Gangplank, just at least design wise, got like simplified down a lot across Legends of Runeterra into lore, right? Or League of Legends into Legends of Runeterra, right? And so because of that, I do have to give him here. And now Twisted Fate is the opposite, right? I think they made a champion a lot more interesting because they took his kit and really like kind of turned it up to 10, right? Like they just made him a lot more interesting, even though his core design is still exactly the same, right? Guardian and Guardian, exactly. Exactly. MF. Where do we put MF? I do like MF. Not in Legends of Runeterra that much, but I do quite like her in League. Not like super interesting, but it's really funny to just like put her in a bush and just fire off. MF the same as TF? As in you think she's better in Legends of Runeterra? I'm not sure if I agree there. I think she's MS opposite TF. Yeah, exactly, right? MF is like along the lines of Shen and Gangplank, where I think they'd like sort of simplify things a bit. MF in League is kind of awkward. You put her in Maokai. I don't enjoy MF enough to put her there. Like she's either here or here. Either better in League of Legends or just kind of meh. Because I just don't like her that much in Legends of Runeterra to really give it that. I'm gonna put it here just based on my personal enjoyment. I think it's very similar story to like this Gangplank Shen kind of thing. Ult is fine, yeah, just like ulting in a bush. Taric. I don't think I've actually played Taric enough to. I don't think I've played a single game of Taric in League of Legends. Taric is good in both. He's okay. He hasn't been super interesting. Like I would gravitate more towards meh in both than good in both. Because I just, as cool as I think he has the potential to be in Legends of Runeterra, they just like no one has capitalized on that, and I'm gonna put him here. I don't enjoy him enough. I've tried really wacky things with him in Legends of Runeterra, but it hasn't sticked. And so the only notion I have of Taric is Taric Rally, and that's just kind of meh. Elite Lulu? Holy moly, okay. I wouldn't go that far. But I understand that getting polymorphed is quite annoying. Better in LOL. I think she's like, I would put her in good. But I would put her good in both. Even though I'm annoyed by her. It's either better in League or good in both. And I just don't know how to put her. Because I think she's actually really cool if you level her, right? I think when you level up Lulu in like Legends of Runeterra, she's actually like pretty cool. And even so, like even like just pairing her with Chompers, pairing her with like just 0 attack units, like she has a cool utility. But like her like general design has sort of been coupled together with like these aggressive decks, right? To me, she's here because I actually don't mind her in Legends of Runeterra. I think she's actually quite a cool champion. Trundle. Delete Trundle. Trundle's kind of meh for me. I haven't played him enough in League to really give an opinion. And I think he's just kind of meh in lore. He has been so core to Legends of Runeterra and like this Freljord thing, but it's whatever to me. Force an aggressive keyword, that is true. But I think he's meh both. Nocturne on the other hand, whew. I love Nocturne in Legends of Runeterra. I think he's also so unique in League of Legends. Any like global effect is just like so interesting. I think he's actually one of my favorite like champions design wise in Legends of Runeterra, so I give him the respect. I really like Nocturne's design in this game as well. Nocturne's so boring and LOL. Like, I don't play him enough, so I don't know. But I've seen him played in that one game in Worlds, and I was like, damn, that's so cool. So that's my singular notion of Nocturne. Being able to like, just like dim the entire like play field, right? And I think he's really cool in Legends of Runeterra. I love him a lot. Leona. Rating both is too generous. This is personal, and this isn't like, it's not how good they are, right? It's just how much I like them, and he gets extra bonus points for just how cool he is. Leo's cooler than LOL. See, but I love Leona in Legends of Runeterra. Like, I would potentially put Leona here as well, because I just absolutely love Leona in Legends of Runeterra, and she's like pretty cool in League as well. And this is just personal bias, but Diana though. Diana on the other hand, Leona post or pre-rework, both. She's a lot better now, but even beforehand I really liked her. Just like stun, guys. You remember who you guys are talking to. Like, Leona just like stun locks your entire opponent's board, pre or post rework, right? It doesn't matter. In fact, she did it better beforehand because she was a 4-drop, right? But she just stun locks the entire board, yeah. Aesol way better than LOR. Yes, let's not jump ahead though. Diana, I think, is better than LOR. Lol. She's not super interesting in like Legend of Runeterra. I don't hate her. She's just a very fine champion overall. But I think she just shines a lot more in League of Legends as far as, you know, play patterns. Aesol's an obvious one. He's just this absolute space dragony. Like, I think it's so hilarious to me how like character models work for League of Legends, right? How they make characters like Galio, Aesol, Nautilus, like these very tiny creatures in League of Legends, whereas, you know, if you like actually depict them to the scale, they're like these like insanely big like monsters and creatures, right? But sort of sidetracked to that. Span League because they just reworked Aoshin's design. What is Aoshin anyways? I know he's like this. I saw him like TFT. I don't play TFT, but he's not. I don't. Is he a separate character? He's not a champion, is he? Someone needs like actually explain that to me because I just don't understand. Aoshin was beta Aesol basically. He doesn't exist in League of Legends, right? It was the original design. Okay, I don't think that helped very much, but nonetheless. Kench boy. I'm putting Kench good in both. I mean, I think I give any champion the semi-unique design in Legends of Runeterra some extra bonus points. And, you know, I think, again, as far as any of these champions go, he's also has his unique points in League as well, right? Like the whole, like, Devourer, Bayou Brunch kind of thing, super unique. In LoR, he almost has no synergy. In LoR, he has almost no synergy. And just unique and man both. He's either both merit good in both. I can't tell. They worked out his Ken gameplay first and his theme first Wind Dragon then spin. Oh, okay, I see. I think he's cool enough for me to put it in good in both. I'll leave him there. Soraka, on the other hand, is a champion that I quite enjoy in League of Legends a lot more. Sorry, Kench, you don't get to be paired. Just delete Soraka. I think having a silence and Soraka is quite annoying, but I like playing Soraka. So Like a Fellows Kench. Yeah, you've seen a Fellows Kench, you've seen a Kench, Soraka, you've seen like Soraka and like Freljord. Like Soraka has like cool things. Soraka's meh. I like her in League, so I'll put her there. You don't mind her in lore, but please see this trash in my League games. She's quite annoying, huh? But I quite like playing her, so I have to. This is personal bias. You guys are free to hate. Ivana. Ivana's way cooler in lore. You think so? I was gonna put her in both meh. You're biased Soraka since she was how you got into League. Fair enough. Wait, wait. What do you mean? Like you saw Soraka and you're like, damn, I want to play this game? Or was there some other implicit reasons? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Your kid was simple to play. Okay, I see you. I see you. He's Soraka on a certain website. I'm putting her in both meh. She's alright. She's not good enough to be here. I don't think she like. I don't know. I haven't actually played her, but from what I've seen, she's like, she like hits people, turns into a dragon, and shoots fireballs. That just doesn't seem quite interesting to me. So she goes in both meh. Victor, Victor, Victor. Ooh. I want to put Victor good in both, but I might like him too much in Legends of Runeterra just because of like Victor Karma and other stupid combo decks that you can get from his discount. Victor's cool in lore. I agree, because I just love him so much. I just love him too much. He's just this combo enabler, discounts now with the bar, you know, discounting Aphelios weapons in the past, discounting just karma spells, whatever it may be. Like discounting just Riven spells, discounting ignitions. And there's just, the discount just applies to so many different things. Discounting like Poro Cannon, just OT Kang with Victor by himself. He's just like really cool. Okay. I mean, I think this is pretty obvious too. Zoe, I have to give to lore. She's again just how unique she is, how versatile she was on launch, and I think how just how insane she was for the longest periods of time. Delete Zoe. No. She was one shots in low, yeah, and then like she sleeps people sometimes. And like she steals their like. I never understood like why she just like steals people some their spells. Like I haven't played Zoe at all, so it's hard to say just considering when I've played against her, but it's just like she sleeps people, she like trouble bubbles people. I will say like the shooting mechanic within like the paddle star is like actually kind of cool, but otherwise she just takes the cake in League or Legends of Runeterra. Similar to like ASO, right? I would put these in a similar vein of why I think they were so much better. Riven is cooler in League, where design and lore is pretty solid. I like Riven in both games because I'm a sucker for combo decks. I've played a lot of all sorts of Riven combo. I played Fizz Riven, I played Riven Vi, I've played Riven whatever it may be. Like I've played almost every Riven combo deck in the game. And I think she's actually pretty cool in League as well. She good enough to be here. She might be. But I'll put her here for now. Aphelios. Alright, this is biased because I just, for some reason, my understanding of Aphelios in Legends of Runeterra is nowhere sufficient to understand him in League of Legends. It's just impossible. It just doesn't translate over. It just doesn't work. And so I unfortunately have to just kind of snub him off a bit. Unfortunate. Don't hate me for it. It's really bad design in League. I think he's cool. Like he has like, he uses 2 weapons at the same time, right? Or something like that. Or at least he cycles between 2 weapons at a time, and then different combos of like weapons or whatever. I don't even fully know. I just don't understand in Legends or League of Legends. Your understanding of Aphelios and LOR is the same until you saw your explanation. Okay, fair enough. I just like it's just it just doesn't work. Like I took my time to really understand how it works in Legend of Terra, and the first time I play in League of Legends, I'm just absolutely clueless. It just didn't work for me, and so unfortunately, due to my limited experience, he's getting snubbed a bit. Renekton. Hey, this is recent, but I actually kind of like Renekton in League of Legends. I think he's a decent bruiser, and he's just very simple to get used to, I guess. Like very simple kit, good sustain, whatever it may be. I've been liking him recently. Better in lore. He has absolutely sick animations in lore. Like his animations are fantastic in Legends of Runeterra, but I can't give that to him for that. Here's one that I don't like in either game. J4. There you go. I don't know why I don't like him like League of Legends. I just don't know. He's not interesting enough to me. So he's getting snubbed a bit. Gar is cool on lore. He's interesting, but he's just nah. He's meh. I don't like him. You don't like him because of his goofy armor. Of course I don't like him. Why is that of course? I have like some melee champions. I like Renekton. I guess they're not super similar, but I don't know. He's an assassin. Oh, he's an assassin? Is that what he's classified as? I guess that makes sense, right? He just like ults somebody and then tries to single them out. He's like a bruiser, no? Isn't he a bruiser? Like a melee kind of guy? I have no idea. I don't play him enough. Leah. This is Ascended Renekton. He doesn't count, so we're just moving back a bit. J4 is an ult bot. I don't know what that means. Once faced a Poppy J4 bot duo. That's hilarious. I think Talia deserves to be good in both. Talia's an example of those champion where I think they sort of like integrated the main design of her champion across both games pretty well. She like is very reflective across games. But in Legends of Runeterra, they added a little bit extra, right? Give some landmarks, some extra support there. We see it in Thralls, we see it in Talia Malphite, we see it in Talia Ziggs. We have Absolver combo stuff. We have just poke for 6 damage or 10 damage, whatever it may be. And she's actually kind of cool in League of Legends, right? She has the she throws rocks. She has the unravel, not the unravelers, but the one that moves the ground, whatever it's called. I don't know what it's called, but her E. And she can surf, yeah. TLDR, he got so nerfed with time and power creep, he's only useful trades now as ult. That's fair enough. He only has 2 damaging spells in LOL. Yeah, her Q and W, right? Yeah. Iwaso, what's up? Lissandra. Do I like Lissandra in Legends of Runeterra? Both meh. It's acceptable. I don't know how much I like her in Legends of Runeterra. This is cooler in LoL just because of the Watcher. In lore because of the Watcher. It's a fantastic flavor element, right? Like they've tied her, like Legends of Runeterra capitalizes on the ability to just capitalize on the lore of the champions. And I think that's cool and all, but I did like, you know what, I did enjoy playing TLC, which I don't know if I should say that out loud, but no, she's like Ice Age number 4. I did enjoy her. when she had her time in the sun, I did enjoy her in Legends of Runeterra, and she's better in like lore. It's meh otherwise, but I'll just put her here for personal bias. I made the Zil Nasex deck. Nasus. Susan's lame in League. He's like he has the unfortunate case of his kit is just very simple and plain, right? He does one thing very well. I quite like him in Legends of Runeterra. I'm gonna put him here because I like him in this game. Just because I like him. I played him a lot in this game. Kindred. What does Kindred actually do? Can somebody explain what Kindred does in League of Legends? I know she like puts marks on people and then you have to kill them, right? And then you gain stacks and then you need 4 stacks to do something. And then her ult, like, you stand in the circle and then you don't die. Right? She's really cool in Legends of Runeterra. I just don't know how cool she is in League. I know she's an ADC, like she's a pseudo ADC. I know that much. I've seen her in Worlds, right? I just don't actually know what she does. Good in both. Good in both is fair because I think she's cool. Good grade in both. Yeah, it's good in both or better in lore for me. I just don't fully know her in League to really give her too much more. All right, Sivir. Sivir. Sivir's cooler in lore. Sivir's cooler in lore. She is cool, but I don't like love her that much. Sivir's meh. I'll put Sivir in meh. It's outdated in lore. I would put her in meh. Like, I'm just not that big of a mid-range fan to really enjoy her all that much. She goes top of meh. Not that there's a top or bottom. Alright, what if we delete LeBlanc? How do you guys feel about deleting LeBlanc? You guys agree with me here? Can we just delete LeBlanc? You're afraid not gonna start Yumi? Where is Yumi? Is she coming up yet? Oh, she's over here. Like, I want to delete LeBlanc from League. And she's just whatever in Runeterra that I don't mind if we delete her. So she's going right in the delete pile. I'm sorry, LeBlanc. Azir. Azir's cool. I haven't played him, but watching him being played in Worlds was fantastic. Really cool kit. In Legends of Runeterra, just whatever. Zillion though. Zillion. Do people like Zillion in League? Do people have good outlooks of Zillion in League? Do people like this guy? He's super annoying. I do like Zillion in Legends of Runeterra. So it's either better in lore or like good in both. But I just like him too much in lore, and I sort of have like a neutral stance to him in League. On Zil deleted in League. I just don't know if I like him in League enough to put him up there. But it's close. It's close. If there was a middle ground, I'd put him there. Deleted in League. Yikes. Malphite. I do like Malphite. delete. I do like Malphite, so it's not useful on your team, but annoying on your opponent's team. Better in law. It's either better in law or good in both. Do I like Malphite in lore? I'm not gonna. I hate to offend Roji, but I don't really. I don't really. He's trash champion in league, like facial champion. He's hilarious though. He's funny. I like him. He's funny. Malphite doesn't do anything. He literally doesn't do anything. Yeah, he's just a rock. I think it's fun when you just like play Malphite and you just like build tank and they can't kill you, and then you just like annoy your opponent. Like I love chasing after people with Malphite because your Q like speeds you up and slows the enemy down. I think that's like hilarious. It's just funny to me how he just like leeches movement speed and just chases after you as this lumbering rock beast. So that is my experience. And that's why I think he's better in league. Alright, what if we delete Aurelia? Can we delete Aurelia? Nerf her, don't delete her. I'm not giving a nerf category. We have like 7 categories already. I'm not adding another category. Alright, my lurk boys. Generally hit her more than other champion. Fair enough. Rek'Sai. I haven't played Rek'Sai in League. I like lurk as an archetype overall. I think Rek'Sai and Pyke are just good in both. They're cool designs. I like lurk. They have cool animations. If you hate on lurk, that's fair enough, but I like lurk, so they're up there. And Pyke is like really interesting in League for me as well. Pyke's better in League. I would agree, but he's just too cool looking. His animations are just too cool. Rek'Sai's cool on lore, Pyke is cool in League. I might agree with that, but I just like them in both games enough. I don't actually know her in League very well, but she at least like burrows and tunnels and does jumps out stuff. Echo though, he deserves to be great. Echo is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Love him in both. Design's great. Very cool. Very good in both. His design like just carried over in both games so fantastically well. I just love it a lot. Viego. Viego. Unique playmaker. Yeah, he's super cool. I think Echo is super interesting. Viego better in lore. Oh, interesting. So I think he's way cooler in League. Like he's just a lot more unique, right? Whereas in lore, he's so. You guys really like him in lore, huh? It's interesting. I don't share that same opinion to the same level of degree. He's not unique in League though, is he not? His kit might not be very unique, but well, I like Silas. Levels 2 is nuts. It's really cool when you level him up, huh? I'm gonna put him good in both. I think watching him in Worlds has just been really cool. And that's my bias to a lot of champions as well, unfortunately. Akshan. Great in both? Oh, interesting. Better in lore? Delete Akshan? He's not worthy of being deleted from lore. He's just like okay in lore. His resurrection shit is so annoying, I will say. Mosh has no right to have a revive passive. I think that's I might agree there. Design's a lot better in lore. Yes, he's great in both. Where do I put Zillion? Where do I put Zillion, guys? I put Zillion better in lore. I'm putting Ashan better in lore for the same reasons why Zillion is there. Just because I think I have a very neutral stance to him in League. I don't know if I like or hate him. Not that I don't know, I like and I hate him. And that's the same for Zillion League as well. Oh, what happened? There you go. Zillion makes sense since he has time magic. What does that mean? Makes sense in what? Poppy. Yeah. Poppy is like Shen Gangplank story, right? Simplified down to fit like her lore and followers a little bit better. But overall just more interesting in League. Caitlyn. Caitlyn's good. I like Caitlyn. You don't get to see it very much, but if you level Caitlyn in Legends of Runeterra, I quite like her a lot. Like, her ability to like hit for like 10 damage just because you activate 10 traps is just so satisfying. And in League of Legends, fine ADC. Yo, Slayer, happy holidays. Been playing your Karma list and stuff. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by. Think better in lore. Kate's better in lore, but she's good in I like her good enough in both. Alright. Veigar. Veigar is better in lore. No. I detest Veigar in lore. I absolutely detest it. No. You guys can't change me on this one. Now, I do dislike playing against him, but I like playing Veigar, so I'm putting him in League, or including ARAM. This is almost exclusively ARAM. Because I've pretty much only played ARAM. Senna's cool. She good in both. You've never seen a single Veigar level up in lore? It's been a while, huh? Darkness and Veigar has kind of just faded off in obscurity for a bit. She's cool. I love her in lore. And I think she's like quite interesting in League as well. She can play ADC, she can play carry or like support. And it's not that interesting in League. She has a heal, she has a root. You can play her as support and ADC. Not super interesting, but I don't hate her to like put her in meta or anything like that. Tristana. I actually can't play Tristana in League. I just don't understand. Your ADC is Senna for bad time. That's fair. Just delete Tristana. You had high hopes for spooky Karma with Senna. That wasn't bad for like 5 different players in a week. I think it worked out. Tristana's just meh. I don't like Tristana. She's just kind of meh. On this Baron League was still meh. I don't understand how to play her. It's just I don't get it. But she's meh for me. Ion might also just be meh. Ion's cool in both. Oh. Ion is hard. You love Zion in both. Because I think Sion's just kind of meh. Sion's just kind of meh. Sounds pretty tight considering how old he is. But I just they're both meh. It's just I don't know. It's meh. I want to say Nami is good in both though. Like so unique design wise. And as a support, she has her own perks. She's kind of cool. Sound got reworked in LoL though. I would not know. Xerath better in LoL? Really? I think Xerath's good in both. I think Xerath is actually one of the cooler champions in Legend of Terra as well. And albeit like relatively simplistic as terms of like design in Legends of Runeterra or League of Legends. You're right. He might be better in lore. I just like he's quite simple. Or not like by like design in his kit. And I think they made something really interesting out of him. I think they made something really interesting out of something that maybe wasn't super interesting. He's pretty up there as far as support champ cards go. Yeah. Like, fantastic transformation. Alright, Xerath ascended. Xerath is aimbot in League. And you just script some Xerath. Ziggs. I'm gonna give Ziggs good in both. No opinion. I'd put him here. I think he has an interesting level of both mobility, like tower clearing, and just like playing as like a mage. And then Legends of Runeterra is decently interesting as well. Like him being able to like both like have like the mobility as well as the disengage with his W, I think is super cool design. Like his Q and E are just like so-so, but his W is just like too cool for me. Like you can use that to chase, you can use that to disengage, you can use it to blow up towers. Like I think that's just like really cool. Jace. Jace. Jace is another champion I just don't understand how to play in League. And he's like okayly cool. He's not like Karma cool. Jace is good in both, and he's so all in League. He's like interesting. He's like okay in League. I just don't understand him. I don't know how to play him. But I do like him in lore. Good enough to put him here for me. Jace is better than Arcane. That is true. I like Kennen. Kennen meh. Jace got gut and nurse. Ken's men both. I agree. Yeah, I agree. I don't really have much explanation here, but not men League. That's a cool ult. Okay, I'm gonna put him here. I don't understand him enough in League, and I just don't really care for enough in Runeterra. Alright. There's no way Pantheon is cooler in lore. Absolutely not. No explanation needed. Just delete Pantheon? Isn't Pantheon just bad? Isn't Pantheon just like not a good champion? Like doesn't he like just... Isn't he just like not good in League? Yeah, Pantheon is bad, isn't he? But he's like... But there's no way he's cooler in lore. There's absolutely no way he's cooler in lore. I think he's fine where he is. Rumble. What does Rumble do in League? I know he has a flamethrower. I don't know what else he does. Does Rumble do anything else besides being a flamethrower? Rumble has the heat gauge. I don't know what that means. His ult is so strong. I don't know what his ult does. He has the equalizer. You guys need to use Legend and Terra terms. Light shield movement speed. Ours like okay. Yep, I can't give an opinion there. Ari. I'm gonna put Ari in good in both. I think she's cool in League, and her design is decent. She's had her time in the sun. And I did enjoy playing her. I'll put him good in both. Rumble's either overtuned damage or is underpowered, was good in both. Rumble's abilities don't cost mana because it heats, he reaches 100. Oh, interesting. Okay. Cool. That's interesting. Okay, I didn't know that. That's cool. Alright. Yumi. Just delete. Either met or delete, right? And I know enough people hate her in League. Million times better in lore. Okay, that is true. That is actually true. But I don't like it's like negative in both, right? It's just like is -1 better than -10? Or is it still delete? She's so bland in lore. She is really bland. Okay. All right. I think Galio is like these guys, right? Galio is the same story as these guys. I think a really like full kitted champion that just got like dumbed down a bit. Cool in lore, really? Wow, interesting. You know, yeah, Galio's way cooler in League, no? It's unfortunate that like everything he does is interruptible by like a stun or like a knockout, but I think he's like super cool. Put him as a 1-of and he still has the job done. Galio's the Pantheon. Oh yeah. You know you're wrong. He says, wow, interesting. That is true. That is absolutely true. Yeah, almost all the ones Baron Lowell died of Quietus. Kind of true. That's funny. All right, Udyr. I don't know what Udyr does in League, if I'm being honest. He's man in terror for me. I just don't know what he does in League. Do people like Udyr? Better in lore. Wow, okay. Do people like Udyr? Man, both. It's either meh or I don't have an opinion. Like Udyr since rework. Udyr's cool in concept, you don't know if they balance him yet. I just don't know what he does. He's Trinimir but different. Men both. Alright. Mad is. I don't know what Gnar does either in League. I know he has like the boomerang and he transforms and has like the knockback with the stun. Good in both. He's like interesting in lore. I just don't have the opinion of League for him. Gnar's great in both. I don't have the opinion of him. Gnar's pretty much same in lore and TBH. Really cool stuff in League. Yeah, I know that much. He transforms and becomes like this melee and he like knocks people back and stuns them. Or he just like pokies with his boomerang, right? I don't have the opinion of him in League, fortunately, but I think he's pretty cool. Like Shyvana, but cool. I like Jhin in League. I like Jhin a lot in League. Nara's great voice lines, that is true. I will say, I think they managed to make him in lore decently well based off of what he how he existed, right? But he just sucks. He just sucks in lore. That he just has to be better in League, right? Oh, we have some interesting champions here. Lowy. Jin's the best design champion in LoL. He's quite cool. I do like him. Very interesting, very unique. Lowy though. You guys know what I hate about Lowy? In ARAM, when you're playing on the blue side and you're being pushed under tower, there's the bush on the left, and Alawi sits in there, and then when you walk up slightly too much, she just pulls out your soul and she deals half your health for no reason. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? This might be super specific, but I'm sure all of you can relate here. I'm sure you guys can relate. You got that from You Suck. You can say about every hook champion, but Alawi just like, it's just extra like, it's like, all right, homie. Like if you want to hook me, just like hook me. But like if you steal my soul and just steal half my health, just like, just kill me instead, you know? Do you guys actually like Alawi in League? I have no opinion of her because I don't think I've played her much. Her tentacles feel better to use in LoL than LoR. Yeah, she's aight. She's aight. Bard. Met is not equal aight. No, Met is like kinda aight. Aight's not very positive for me. Better in LoL alongside the Dice champs. Bard's like, I would put Bard better in LoL, right? Like the double stun is so satisfying if you get it off. His ult's interesting. I don't understand fully how to utilize it very well. But he's definitely not cooler in LoR, that's for sure. You're so mad what they did with Bard in LoR. Yeah, he falls under these 6 champions, right? Like the Shen gang playing Galio, Poppy, Jin pool, where they had something really cool and they kind of simplified it a bit. Attack fit makes no sense in LoR. How is Braum not good in both? Because I think he's better in League. Because I don't think he's that cool in LoR. I'm sorry, Braum enjoyers. Go to sleep now. See you later, man. Take care, homie. What was I up to? Think again then? And he's cooler on LoR. She's like quite simple, right? Like you just 4 abilities and then a stun, and then that's like her whole kit for the most part. It's four abilities plus a stun. Both meh. I would agree. I'm not super impressed by her. She's pretty great in LoR. It's okay. I'm not like I don't like her enough to put her up here, unfortunately. Tibbers is so underwhelming in LoR. That's true. He doesn't have the same presence. The kind of just like enrage mauling you after you kill Annie kind of vibe. Elite Kai'Sa. I think Kai'Sa is like the 5th worst champion in Legends of Runeterra right now. But I think Kai'Sa is just... Is Kai'Sa meh? Kai'Sa's leader better on LoL. I think she's just meh. I think she can be cool in League, but it's like in ARAM she just spams across the map all the time, right? Imagine Tibbers levels up after Annie dies. That would actually be freaking hilarious. You like her looking LoR more alien? Fair enough. Fair enough. When though? When's good in both? Be my assumption. Or at least my first thought. She has a cool Hollowed. Hollowed has just been shining, and I think she's actually quite interesting. One good in LoL? Like good or like interesting? I think she's interesting. Like she has the W, which is like the coolest thing, I guess. I'll give her credit for it. Just be broken beyond belief. Fair enough. Evelyn's cooler in League. Assassin. It's the assassin bias. Assassin bias. No, no, you're right, you're right. It should be no opinion. I just don't know. It's just, no. Just assassin bias. I just don't understand what Evelyn does quite fully. I know she has a charm, and then when she ults, she just like becomes untargetable or immune, and then she kills you. That's all I know, pretty much. Kayn is equal in both games. Kayn is cooler in League. Kayn is cool. He's not super cool in lore. Delete Kayn. Kayn's level up where he recalls is kind of goofy, but makes sense in LoL. Yeah, because he has to do it at the fountain, right? Which is like kind of cool. That actually like makes a lot more sense now that you kind of just mentioned that. That just like clicked. We can recall 3 of Kayn's forms. Love him in LoL is super cool. No, this isn't power level, James. This is personal opinion of how much I like playing them. This is not power levels, because otherwise that would be boring. That would be boring as shit. What do I feel about Kayn? Kayn's kind of okay. He's not super exciting in lore. You don't know, just delete him. Oh. I'm not good enough at him to give him an opinion. I'm not gonna rate these. Do we delete Yi or do we put him better in lore? Is Yi positive in lore? I do like Yi in lore. I don't like Yi in LoL. Better in lore, I agree. I'm not gonna delete him because I don't want to delete in lore, but if it's just League, he's gonzos. In LoL should be deleted, I agree. Jax is kind of meh for me. I don't like him in either game enough. He's just kind of meh. Jax fair in League. I mean, he's better, but he's still just meh for me. I don't like him enough to put him better in League. Lorne, though, I will give him better in League. How did they make Ornn so cool yet so bad in lore? How did they? What happened to him? How could they massacre him like that? It's so unfortunate. Failure happened. That is true. All right, Varus better in League. I don't think there's an argument there. Next expansion for him. You have the Ornn Horn in lore. The Ornn Horn. He doesn't have much in lore, to be honest. Vayne. Varus is kind of interesting on both. Is he interesting in lore? I don't know if he's that interesting in lore. Elite Vayne players. I actually like Vayne, unfortunately. Unfortunately for you guys, I do like Vayne. Vayne's great in both. I don't know if I like her enough in terms of League to put her in great and good in both, but I do like her in lore. Vayne in League. He's not my favorite ADC. When he levels up, he summons Ephemeral Ram on attack. Oh, I see what you mean. No, I don't. I haven't seen Doublelift go crazy. No, I don't watch League. You like how they translate him charging now? Are you guys still talking about Ornn? Bow. Oh, the bow. Yeah, I think that was like really cool, right? But his design's cooler in League. What if we just delete Aatrox? How about that, guys? No disagreements here, right, guys? Right? Right. Aatrox is cool. Uh-oh. You respect good Aatrox players? I don't give him enough. He's getting deleted. Sorry, buddy pal. Hale better in League. I don't think we need to really explain that. I think Hale is like close to being like top 8 worst champions in Runeterra. Aatrox super hard to play in LoL. A lot of champions have that skill ceiling, right? I'm not gonna argue that champions like him don't have high skill ceilings. Hale's lame in League too. She's alright, but she's better in League than LoR. Kale's the card definition of win more or lose. You guys are thinking a lot of Rift too. Like this is a lot of ARAM gameplay coming in. It's almost purely ARAM. Kale's Winding Light but needs a champion slot. Kale is not even close to Winding Light. Rise. I think Rise is just a meh. Rise is amazing in lore. Amazing in lore, interesting. I don't know if I agree with that. He's just budget Thanos. I agree. He is interesting, but not like good interesting to me. He's just interesting. Yeah, he's interesting, but not like good interesting. He's not like Aphelios good interesting, right? He's just interesting. You're like, huh, interesting. Not like, oh wow, that's so interesting. You know, guys? You feel me? All right. I think that's all the champion. You do not? Okay, you'll understand one day. All right. But Nor better in lore. Okay, fine. That's kind of unfair, but I'll allow it. I will allow it. I think we're good.